U.S. and Iranian officials meeting in Rome for a fifth round of negotiations. Now, these talks involving President Trump's Middle East envoy, Steve Witkoff, mediated by Oman at their embassy, who there has not been some but not conclusive progress. So we got a little back and forth here, aiming to stop Iran from enriching uranium in exchange for lifting sanctions on Iran. President Trump has said Iran cannot develop a nuclear weapon, Iran insisting its program is purely for peaceful purposes. But is it? Joining us now is Alireza Jafarzadeh, Deputy Director of the U.S. Office of the National Council of Resistance on Iran, who has worked to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons and has called for democracy in the country. So a perfect guest to talk about all of this today. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. You know, these talks these talks are being led on the U.S. side by President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff. So let's think about that and ask you, how confident are you in his ability to get this deal with Iran? What do you think?
Well, of course, any envoy that the president assigns would be basically carrying out the mission given to that envoy by the President of the United States. And I think President Trump has been very clear since day one that the Iran regime cannot develop nuclear weapons. He has also talked about that the Iran regime cannot have the ability to enrich uranium, which is the core factor in building the bomb. And I think as we proceed further, I have seen the position of the United States has gradually gotten even harder and more focused on that. And I hope that that will be the path that they will continue to move forward.
Yeah, a lot of people watching this, obviously all eyes on this negotiation. Witkoff reportedly met with Israeli officials ahead of today's meeting. So what's your reaction on what we're seeing with that so far?
Well, I think what is important is to see what needs to be accomplished, because it's not the first time that the Iran regime has been at the negotiating table. I remember back in 2002, in August of 2002, when we first revealed the nuclear site in Natanz, the uranium enrichment facility, which triggered the IAEA inspections of Iranian sites. There was a great chance for the world to stop the nuclear weapons program of Iran, which was in the early stages. But unfortunately, the West rushed to give concessions to the Iran regime. They pursued a policy of appeasement, and even under President Obama, what led to the JCPOA, basically legitimized the enrichment program of the Iran regime. Now it's a different situation. People have seen what the Iran regime has done in action, regardless of what they say. They always claim that their program is for energy purposes, but in reaction, they have been developing nuclear weapons. But the most important element is that this time, this regime is so weak. They have no leverage. You know, they have lost much of the clout in the region. You know, Syria is gone, and, you know, the Shia militias in Iraq, the Hezbollah, the Houthis are all been significantly weakened. And also inside Iran, the people have been rejecting this regime in several rounds of the uprisings. That's the new reality of when it comes to negotiations, and I hope the U.S. will be cognizant of that.
You know, I wanted to ask you, Iran is saying that President Trump is portraying himself as a madman that nations will fear him. How do you respond to that? Is that how he is seen?
Well, if you're talking about madness, I think you should look at the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, which is the mullahs ruling Iran. And, you know, they are the ones who, by using these proxies, creating fear among the population in the region, and also inside Iran, killing their own population. You know, just since last August, when the new president of the regime, Pezeshkian, took office, over 1,200 prisoners, including women and political prisoners, have been executed by the Iran regime. The regime confronts its own population by killing. So they need to look in the mirror themselves and see the madman that the people of Iran are actually rejecting.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.